Hi, I'm Jess Arce, and I am the CEO and Director of 3D Learning Experts. And I got a question from a mom who is justifiably concerned and confused about her daughter. And so I want to respond to that message and hopefully help not only that mom, but other moms as well. So this is in response to my video about scotopic syndrome. Scotopic syndrome, also called Irlen Syndrome, it's identified with words or letters moving on the page, reversals, seeing double. I had a student who read better upside down than right side up, and his grandma, who was my client, said that one of her sons had the same challenges. So those things are associated with Irlen syndrome or scotopic syndrome. And the best solution for helping with those things is colored overlays. And there are many different colors available. And so this is actually a pack of all of the colors that the Irlen Institute makes. And you can do a test. When I used to do in-person tutoring, I offered a test to see what color worked best for students. So this mom said that her daughter was given a green screen and they labeled her with Irlen syndrome and said she wasn't dyslexic. I'm assuming that part wasn't written about, but I'm assuming that is what happened. So maybe green was not her ideal color. That could have been one thing that caused the overlays to not help your daughter in school, because green and actually blue are the most common colors. However, there's an array of color options here because we are each individuals and different colors work better for different people. I had one student who purple was her preferred color. I had another student who pink was her preferred color. So if pink or purple are your child's preferred colors, then green is not going to be helpful. So that's very important. And on the Irlen website, you can do a test to see what colors are ideal and if there is indeed, if Irlen syndrome or scotopic syndrome is indeed a problem. Well, very often people will have multiple neurodiversities. Like my youngest son has 8 neurodiversities, right? Irlen syndrome is one of them. Dyslexia is another. Dysgraphia, dyscalculia, auditory processing delay, vision processing delay, sensory processing delay, and then he's on the autism spectrum. And I must have left one out because that was 7. But anyway, so very often the schools only want to identify one thing and say, this is what's wrong with your child, and we're going to address that one thing, and they don't even look further. That was the case with my son. They identified him with dyslexia, but they ignored the other 7 things that were going on for him. And really, we had been dealing with his sensory processing challenges since he was a baby. We could not leave him at the nursery, at church. I couldn't put him in daycare because he had such sensitivities to noise in a group setting. I didn't understand that. However, when he was diagnosed with sensory processing disorder at age 12, it all made sense. So that could be a very good reason why your daughter didn't get diagnosed with dyslexia. If she is struggling with reading and spelling in college, she very likely has dyslexia. And it sounds like her high school was not very, or her grade school or her schools were not very cooperative with providing her accommodations. Potentially colleges would be better at that. You need to go into the special ed services office, the student disability services is what they call it. And you need to go in there as soon as you register for school. And if she's already in school, go in and get her registered now. We need to let our children do these things because colleges will not let parents handle everything anymore. However, they're very gracious, at least at my son's college. They were very gracious to talk to me. We even made a phone call the other day because he got a grant, but he needed to do full-time school and he didn't, so he lost the grant, and then he got text saying he owes money. So he's like, what's going on? So he called and asked if they could talk to me, and they were like, yeah. And so they talked to me. But anyway, going back, you want to register with the Student Disability Services as soon as possible and get accommodations in place. They're not necessarily going to be the same accommodations that you could have potentially had in elementary school, junior high, or high school. However, they could be better. My son was given a pen that he can write notes and it records the notes. I don't think he's really utilizing it, which that's really important too, is they need to use their accommodations. So he took his midterm and he didn't do so well. And he said, I should have brought a calculator. Okay. He didn't even realize exactly that he had his midterm. I help him with his homework each week but I don't look at his stuff. I'm not trying to micromanage or control him. It's his first semester. He's taking only 2 classes. And so anyway, he's like said something about a midterm and I'm like, I'm pretty sure your midterm is tomorrow. And he's like, I don't know. I said, well, let's have you kind of prepare for your midterm. Let's get your homework done, which was supposed to be preparation to help them study for the midterm, and be prepared that you might have a midterm tomorrow. And sure enough, he had a midterm that next day. So I actually am hiring, the person that I recently interviewed, because she specializes in coaching students who are going to college, who have neurodiversities. And although I know a lot about this, having been on this journey with 3 children, he's my 3rd child that I'm on this journey. I have 4 children, but my oldest one didn't have any neurodiversities that affected him academically. But it's better to have someone else take the reins and encourage your child to do things that are difficult. That's what I always say about tutoring as well. Yeah, I tutored my 2 children. That's how my business started, was I just was trying to help my kids. But actually in the end, I had, by the time my son was in his last year of doing his Orton Gillingham instruction, I had one of my tutors tutor him, because it was easier to have someone else do it than for me to work with him on something that was difficult. So, for your daughter who can't read and can't spell and she's in college and terrified to take English and history, that is completely understandable. I mean, she's not on a great college grade level reading, so we can't expect her to be able to do well at it. Give me a call. If tutoring is an option for you, we can tutor her. We have quite a few students who are 18, 19, and 20, at least over the years. We've had quite a few. Right now, I believe we have 2 students. One is 20 and was homeschooled and preparing to go to college, and so we are preparing him. And the other student graduated high school but couldn't read beyond a 3rd grade reading level, and he is almost done with our program and will be going to college next year. And he'll be 21 when he goes to college, which isn't so bad. I'm so glad my youngest son waited until he was 21 to start college. He was not socially, emotionally ready to be in that setting, to have those responsibilities. So anyway, in the meantime, have your daughter take classes that she enjoys: photography, art, PE, things like that. Because even like my son is taking culinary classes, and there's a lot of writing, there's a lot of memorization, there's quite a bit of reading. So it's much more academically intensive than he had expected. And so that's why I help him with his homework every day or every week. We sit down and we go over, like, he'll write his stuff and then I just help him expand on it. So that he can at least do well on his homework assignments. He does well on his practical, in class. He's cooking for the test. He had practicums. He did well on that. But the memorizing his numbers, he didn't do so well. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. Please give me a call and we can start tutoring your daughter right away and change her fears to confidence, and she'll be ready to go to college.